A siren wails in the distance. There's a crime, an accident, a fire. Someone is in trouble. Chances are the Evansville Fire Department is at the scene. The EVSC Community Link met with Fire Chief Keith Jarbo to find out what it's like inside the department.
My job title and description is Chief of the Evansville Fire Department. The duties of my office are to oversee the Evansville Fire Department, to enforce the rules and regulations and ensure that fire protection is provided for this community according to laws and standards and rules. Once we have an opening on the department and we actually call someone to be hired, they have to pass a physical and a psychological test and another battery of tests. Once all of that is done, then they come onto the Evansville Fire Department and they have 12 weeks of training.
To fully understand what the training was like, we went to the Evansville Fire Department Training Tower, where we were able to witness new recruits undergo various practice operations.
I work in the training division. There's 3 instructors and a battalion chief in training, assigned to training, and we got 1 EMS guy. Each of us have different areas that we deal with, depending on what type of truck we worked on. We got different trucks on the fire department, so each of us has got different areas of expertise and experience, and that's what we try to deal with on a daily basis with the recruits and the other 200 and plus firemen that we deal with. Normally, this is the first time we got 12 weeks of recruit class. Part of it's book studies and testing, and part of it is hands-on. Obviously, they have to have passing scores, certain physical abilities that they have to have. They've got physical agility tests that they take beforehand, so by the time we get them, all we have to do is train them. And we teach them the basics. Basically, what we're trying to teach them is how to survive on the fire ground and be an asset instead of a negative, you know. They're there to help everybody, and we train them so they can help you in your time of need.
Our main responsibility has changed. Now it's more into life safety, first response on medical runs, and even expanded into areas such as hazardous material, having an underwater rescue and team and a high-rise rescue team. We also have a program that within all the schools talking about learn not to burn. We've actually had some fires that were across the city where the child has actually saved the parent because they had learned what to do in a fire, and they had their sense about them enough to help their parents get out of the fire, which you have that happen one time, you realize what a great program this is and how important it is to get young students at a young age and ensure that they understand that fire is dangerous and that there's a safe way if you're in a fire to get out and ensure that everybody is safe.
When someone does get trapped inside a burning building, a search and rescue mission takes place. We were able to see what one of these missions looks like, as well as find out why new recruits decide to join the Evansville Fire Department in the first place.
I wanted to be an Evansville City fireman to give back to the community. I'm in Evansville a lot and I see what the community has, and I just like a chance to serve and protect.
The main reason that I wanted to join is because I used to have a desk job and it got to be pretty boring, and I wanted something more exciting and wanted something to be able to help people do something different with my life. So
basically the tradition behind it. I've always been interested in the wildfire aspect of it, and it just kind of fit with my goals in life, serving the community and just being a part of the tradition.
Training's been pretty intense. We spent a lot of time doing classwork, learning what we needed to do, the skills that we needed to do and prepare for. And then we've been spending a lot of time here at the tower, doing a lot of hands-on stuff.
The goal of this operation is to get in, save the victim, and get out as fast and as safe as possible. There was no fire. This was simply a dry run to practice basic techniques.
It's been very involved with the fire training, put in with the EMS training, trying to balance both of those has been a little bit of a chore, but yeah, it's been difficult.
Lately, pretty much coming here to the tower, doing some hose operations, pulling hose lines, doing some ventilation on the ventilation simulation. A good 6 hours out here at the tower.
Everything from throwing ladders to hose advancement to fire behavior. There's a lot that's involved in just being prepared for the actual fire.
It's been rigorous. A lot of hose loads, a lot of search and rescue, a lot of long days. The search and rescue, I didn't think it was going to be as hard as it was going to be. Basically, we're going in under smoky conditions and dragging a 160 to 180 pound dummy down 3 flights of stairs out of this concrete tower and to the outside.
A lot of times what people don't understand is whenever they call for someone's had a heart attack or someone is sick or is injured, why a fire truck shows up. They don't understand that at first, but it's because on our apparatus, whether it's our engines or ladders now, we have first responders and EMTs that provide that initial medical care to people. We've actually had people tell us, we didn't call the fire department, we called for an ambulance. In so many cases, because of the proximity of where our fire stations are, we are able to be there quicker than the ambulance. Not that they have bad response time, it's just we are located better than they are, and we can get there quicker. We can start the initial CPR on victims that may need it. We can start oxygen therapy on individuals that may need it. We can assist breathing on a patient that may have stopped breathing. And now we require all of our individuals that come on the department to be an EMT. So we actually teach the EMT class, and then they have a year to pass their certification.
We were learning that everything in the Evansville Fire Department was a lot more involved than we had originally thought. Even something as simple as using a ladder had a distinct procedure to ensure efficiency and safety.
My father spent 29 years on the Evansville Fire Department before he retired. And he retired as a chief training officer. He was a district chief, which was the same rank I was before I became chief. And my uncle was on the fire department. And it's pretty much all I ever knew from about the age of 5. I would sit at the table and listen to my father tell stories in the morning about the runs that he had made the night before and the different things that had happened. And I always kind of knew I wanted to do it. But I will say that there's one instance that I remember vividly, that when my father worked down on St. Joe at station number 5, we were visiting one day, my sister and my mother and I, and they got a fire run. And it was down on West Virginia Street. We had never gone to a fire, never. But we talked my mom into going, and It was a building that had a lot of lacquer in it. And black smoke was just pouring in the sky and all. And my mom pointed out that, oh, there's your father. And we watched him go into the building. And just a couple minutes after he'd been in the building, this huge explosion. And this 55-gallon drum went about 150 feet up into the air. Our father had just gone in there, and we didn't know what to think. This huge explosion, your father goes in, had been in a building, you don't know what's going on, and we just kind of were panicked a little bit. And a few minutes later, here came my father out of the building. I kind of thought to myself, I thought, that's the coolest thing I ever saw in my life. That somebody would do that and go back day after day, and it kind of made me understand what my father did. That yes, it was a dangerous job, but if you're careful and you know what you're doing, that you'll be okay. Plus the cool factor at the age of about 9. But it had always been in my mind that because I was in the service and in the Navy, and it was giving back to your country. And my mother was in politics, my grandfather, and they gave back to the community. And I eventually went into politics because it was a good way to give back to your community. And being an Evansville firefighter, I always said that every day you showed up to work, you had an opportunity to impact someone's life in a positive way. And I think ultimately that's what most of us really want. We want to have a positive impact within our community and on other people's lives. And this job is a great opportunity for that. And I've never not wanted to come to work, not one day.